Hello and welcome to the channel.
Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Mohammad Shaukat Ansari and you are watching your own channel Learn English with Shaukat Ansari that aims to provide you a suitable platform to learn English, like English, live English, write English, speak English, and above all practice English through the creation of learner-centric environment with simplified approaches, with grasping methods and techniques. And my dear good students, here in this lesson, I am going to make an explicit and structured discussion on the tips towards writing explanation of the lines given from a poem. But remember that if you are majoring English as a subject, I mean at your graduation level, you have adopted English as honors. I must tell you that in your examinations in degree 1 or degree 2 or degree 3, questions for explanation are asked. If it is a relevant poem, beautiful poem, wonderful poem, thematically attention pulling poem, captivating poem, from that poem, remarkable lines, meaningful lines, appealing lines, and I must say subjugating lines will be given for explanation, for writing explanation. Explanation is also asked from a novel or a prose piece or a drama or a story or an essay. It means you have to know the tips towards writing explanation. But here my focus is on the tips towards writing explanation of the given lines from a poem. And as an example, I would like to cite here a poem Ode to a Nightingale, which is commonly prescribed in all universities in the syllabus for those students who are majoring English. And you know this poem, a remarkable poem written by John Keats. Now coming to my purpose, let's move on the objective of this video, and the objective is the discussion on how to write an explanation of the given lines of a poem. My dear good students, when you write your explanation, you must divide your answer into 4 sections. First, introduction and reference. Second, context and perspective. Context and background. Third, summary of the given lines. Maybe lines are there, maybe one stanza is there. You have to focus. You have to write the summary, you have to summarize those lines, summarize that given stanza. And the fourth section must be critical comments on your part. So, number 1, introduction and reference. Number 2, context and perspective. Number 3, summary of the given lines. And number 4, critical comments on your behalf. You have to supply critical comments there. Let us learn how to begin your explanation. If lines are from a poem, these lines have been taken from, write the name of the poem, written by, composed by, or penned by, write the name of the poet. And at the outset I have told you that my poem here for discussion is Ode to a Nightingale. A very beautiful poem, brilliant poem. So, how can you begin your first section, I mean first paragraph of your explanation? These lines have been taken from the beautiful poem Ode to a Nightingale, composed by John Keats, a prolific and versatile romantic poet. The poem, while revealing the highest imaginative powers of the poet, explores the themes of exalted emotions, deep delight in the beauties of nature, realities and pangs of life, transience and mortality. So, this is your first paragraph. What's the name of the poem? Name of the poet and background of the poem. An introduction of the poem. So, I repeat, these lines have been taken from the beautiful poem Ode to a Nightingale, composed by. You can write here written by. Also, you can use here penned by, P-E-N-N-E-D, penned by. This is preferable. In my opinion, you can write penned by. I repeat, these lines have been taken, or you can say these lines form a part of the beautiful poem Ode to a Nightingale, composed by John Keats, a prolific and versatile romantic poet. The poem, while revealing the highest imaginative powers of the poet, explores the themes of exalted emotions, deep delight in the beautiful beauties of nature, realities and pangs of life, transience and mortality. This must be your first paragraph as intro and reference. Now your next approach must be on writing about a poem, about the theme of a poem, just 1 or 2 lines. In the context of the given lines, and then the third paragraph, third part of your explanation must be focused on the summary of, the brief summary of given lines. And you can write, begin like this: in these lines the poet says, in these lines the poet explains, in these lines the poet depicts, ... You have to move on. Then the last section comes, and here you dedicate this section to the explanation, to the examination, to the elaboration of the thematic beauties, language beauties of the given lines. Your own comments. What are the significant things, whether which figurative speech, I mean which literary device, poetic device has been used here, whether image has been used or conceit has been used, how is the language, whether it is lucid, whether it is telling. So you have to write about your own remarks. You have to supply here, you have to deliver here your own remarks. So it's clear to all of you that your first section must be introduction, okay, and reference. I repeat, these lines, suppose 4 lines have been given to you from the poem Ode to a Nightingale. So your first paragraph, these lines have been taken from, or you can write like this: these lines form the part of the beautiful poem Ode to a Nightingale, composed by, written by, inked by. So any one of these. Better to write inked, I-N-K-E-D, inked, or penned, P-E-N-N-E-D, penned by, okay, penned by John Keats, a prolific and versatile romantic poet. This is your first paragraph. Second paragraph, you have to write context. You have to give a brief idea about the poem as a gist, as a whole. So you can say the poem, this is your second paragraph, sorry, this is your second paragraph, this is your second section, second part. The poem, while revealing the highest imaginative powers of the poet, explores. Instead of explore, E-X-P-L-O-R-E-S, you can write examines, you can write explains, you can write analyzes, you can write elaborates, depicts. Like this you can use such beautiful verbs here. So I will say the poem, while revealing the highest imaginative powers of the poet, explores the themes of exalted emotions, deep delight in the beauties of nature, realities and pangs of life, sufferings of life, transience and mortality. This should be your second paragraph, this should be your second section. Devote this section second section to the brief idea of the poem, an introduction of the poem. Now come to the third part, and here the summary of the given lines. You have to write in simple sentences so that errors cannot be occurred, and you have to write in a beautiful way the summary, a brief summary of the given lines. And come to the fourth part, and here you have to dedicate your views, insert your views, your personal opinions about the given lines. What are the beauties of the given lines? Thematic beauty, I mean; language beauty, I mean; phonetic beauty, I mean; literary beauty, I mean; language, how is the language, I mean; whether personification has been used, or conceit has been used, or alliteration has been used. Like this, you have to dive into the depth of the given lines, and you have to find out, you have to discover the relevant beauties of the poem, and you have to write your own comments. And also you have to write, you must write that what is the message of the poem, of the given lines. What is the message being conveyed by the given lines? My dear good students, I think you have enjoyed this lesson, and I hope that it will be useful for you, particularly in for your examination, for writing explanations. And believe me that I am doing my best in a very simple way. I decrease myself to the level of my students so that my delivery of the content will be assimilating. So, thank you very much. Stay blessed, be happy, be smiling, love and respect your parents.